The Dorkfather channel is part of the Nerds with Curds network. Replenish your cup of pop culture with Joshua Turbo, the Dorkfather, and coming soon, Xavier Michaels. All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Dorkfather gaming channel. This morning it is coffee and my nice Doctor Who coffee mug and talking miniatures. And today we're going to talk about Kickstarter Bones 6. Yeah, Tales from the Green Griffin. And I have backed, first off, Reaper Miniatures. It's United States, based out of Texas miniatures company. They do a lot of pewter miniatures for a long time. A lot of stuff. I guess they started out doing miniatures of planes to start with, and then they went into more generic, just miniatures for Dungeons and Dragons and other role-playing type games. Then recently being the last 10 years, they have done these Reaper Kickstarters, and they have been more for PVC plastic resin miniatures that were less costly than the metal pewter miniatures that everyone was used to having them have. This is their 6th core Kickstarter. They've done some other ones. They've done two or three base bosses. They did a Cav miniature one, which now I think Cav is, they just do the miniatures for them, but it's another whole company that runs that. I have backed all of their core ones over the years. I have tons of miniatures, as my friends know who come over to my house. So right here, this was the launch yesterday for it, and it went at noon. Let's take a look at the actual Kickstarter site here. All right. So back that video up. But this is the Kickstarter. They actually have 4,461 pledges, 29 days to go, $560,012 already in their Kickstarter. They have a $30,000 goal. I have not backed the project yet. I'll probably do that this morning at some point. They're based out of Denton, Texas. They have a maybe I'll have to take you to their site at some point. Let's go first. Watch. It's a 2-minute video, and I know there's a video down below. But let's just take a moment, and we're going to watch this video.
Hey there, Kickstarters. What do you want? And when you want them? Then you're in luck. With Bones 6, we're asking for your help to create more of the world's best low-cost gaming miniatures. As a backer, you get the first crack at a dizzying number of gorgeous minis at a fraction of their eventual retail cost. Your initial pledge gets you a core set with 30 miniatures, already an incredible value. As more people pledge, your pledge will grow in value with stretch goals. Do we have stretch goals? Of course! Our stretch goals are the best goals. Unlocking new levels unlocks new minis. Some cost a bit of extra money. The dragons, for instance. You've seen our dragons. They're gorgeous. So some minis cost a bit extra. But all that goes to unlocking more stretch goals, unlocking more minis. Not all the stretch goal minis cost extra. A bunch of the goals end up as free additions to the core set and our expansion packs. Now what's an expansion pack? They're smaller, curated selections of figures on a theme, sort of a mini core set. In the past, themes have included sci-fi, Greek, pirates, a ton of stuff. And everyone loved these water-themed minis. Look at them. What's not to love? Your support helps guide the direction and expansion of Reaper Bones, the world's best line of low-cost gaming miniatures, while helping us get them made and shipped to you as fast as we possibly can. We have surprises in store, figures you dream of painting, and as we unlock more and more minis, we're going to release an avalanche of these beautiful figures onto the world. Let's do it again, Kickstarters. It's in your hands.
All right. I think that's neat. They always do a neat video. They always do kind of a theme. Maybe this year's theme, Tales from the Green Griffin, and they usually do some kind of story. So let's just, I'll read quick here. Thanks to our incredible backers, our prior Kickstarter projects have been amazing successes and have allowed us to introduce hundreds of fantastic gaming miniatures into our Bones miniature product ranges. Bones 6 promises to offer you more variety and more amazing new miniatures. These miniatures are 25mm heroic scale and injected in our Bones, Bones Black, or Bones USA plastics. And yes, there's little differences between them. Some are noticeable, some are not. And yeah, I guess I could go through some of that. Bones USA are actually ones that are made in the United States, in Denton, and they're trying to get more and more of their stuff made back in the United States. But when they're doing these large-scale Kickstarters, they are currently, there's no capacity in the United States for making these, so they go over to China, like everyone else, over to China, going to China. And there's a difference between regular Bones and Bones Black. Bones Black is a little more rigid. It looks more like it's more of a resin type thing, so it's a little more stiff. Because their their first Bones, as awesome as it is, and I'm a fan because it's so inexpensive. But people were complaining because stuff does bend easily. There's issues, and I can see why some people would complain. But for the price, I just considered them just a good value on it. Bones miniatures are ideal for RPG and tabletop games. Are a perfect way to get into the hobby of collecting and painting game miniatures. This is the perfect way. They have learn to paint kits. They have all kinds of great things. Reaper is a wonderful company. Now, there are people who don't like Reaper in general, or they don't like any of the plastic line at all. They stick with the metal. That's great. Everyone has their thing. By backing Bones 6, you can help expand our Bones miniature line. Your support makes the molds that we need to produce these miniatures. The more backers we get, the more molds we produce, which means we can make more miniatures. As a backer, you get to have your pick of these amazing miniatures for a fantastic backer-only bargain deal. Spend an evening in the main hall of Green Griffin Tavern, drinking and swapping fantastic tales is a cherished pastime for adventurers seeking the riches of Westboro Hills. Scraps of information are everywhere, posters on the wall, hushed whispers in dark corners, and the drunken dwarf at the bar all provide clues to collect and map out your adventures. Now, I haven't watched this video, but let's take a look at it.
So, the other day, I was doing the tax return for the owner of the Green Griffin. Can you believe he wants to depreciate that building over 5 years?
The Green Griffin, they have terrible pizza. You should go to the pizza dungeon instead.
Where's that?
It's on the square.
Ah.
What are you guys doing?
Tales from the Green Griffin, of course.
Yeah, you told us to.
No, I think you guys are totally missing the point. The Green Griffin's not a place where you go and do taxes or eat pizza. It's our Kickstarter campaign. It's just a way for us to introduce new Bones miniatures to the world.
Oh, I wasted my money on the hat?
And I grew my beard out for this.
I wouldn't say that. Here, watch this. And Dave? Yeah.
Greetings, everyone, and thank you for stopping by to check out our Kickstarter. With any Kickstarter, there are always a lot of questions, and we hope this video will help.
This Kickstarter will be very much like our previous Kickstarters, providing miniatures for painting, collecting, and gaming for RPGs and tabletops.
Did you know that Reaper Miniatures turns 30 this year? To celebrate, we've commissioned a special dragon just for this Kickstarter.
If you're new to Kickstarter, get ready to have some fun.
Take the helmet off, Dave.
No fun. Our Kickstarter community is very knowledgeable and will be able to answer a lot of your questions in the comment section.
One of the most important steps of this Kickstarter is to register your account in our Reaper Pledge Manager. When you do so, you need to use the same email you used in the Kickstarter. It's how we connect the two.
If you're a veteran Bones 6 Kickstarter backer, there's a few changes we'd like to point out.
With this Kickstarter, you'll see two pledges, a $10 pledge and a $125 core pledge. This time it's a little bit different. There's no waves. So how will you know when your pledge is ready to ship?
Shortly before fulfillment begins, you will receive an email of your shipping charges. The sooner you fill that out, then the sooner we can send off your pledge.
Another change is for international shipments, we will be unable to collect VAT, GST, or duties. But to help you out, to help estimate what your shipping might be, is we will include sample box sizes, estimated contents, and weights down in the shipping section. And you can use that information to help determine what your cost might be from your location.
If you are unable to get your questions answered by the community, please send us an email at help@reapermini.com.
And thanks for backing Bones 6.
Thank you, everyone.
Danke von Reaper Miniatures.
And as always, we appreciate your support. Thank you very much.
All right. That's really nice. So I noticed that right away when I was checking out the pledges, is there's only the two pledges. There's the core set and the options pledge. And what's nice with the options pledge, you can still get core sets. But in the past, they had this thing where it caused some excitement and some first day buys and things like that. But they would do waves of things, and you got into your waves, and there was international shipping, and they really refined this stuff. And finally, I said this even after the first Kickstarter, just do a generic one. Don't do these waves or anything, because they wanted to have it where if you got in sooner, you got your stuff sooner. They can keep track of everything like that. Well, it caused nothing but issues, especially in the last one with all the shipping problems. They definitely had issues where people who were wave one were missing items. And I'll be honest, I was one of those, and I had to wait to get my stuff because they're going to ship it all at once, no matter what. But it'll make it a lot simpler. And they've gotten some slack because in the past they included shipping with some things, and then they started adding shipping, and then there's countries have VAT, which is a tax, and people get upset about that. And then there's the typical people who get upset about Kickstarters. In general, they don't realize that this is something that's not going to ship as soon as you buy. This is a pre-order, basically, and you're helping them make more things. Just like I said, you're making the molds, and you're getting a product along with it. So let's take a look at their maps below. They always do these fun little maps, and this looks like they started with the 30K, which was their initial goal. That was the core set. And then they went to 55K for Green Griffin, 1/5, which it's 1/5 of whatever the set is. 80K for the town guard, 105K for the painter's pick, 130 for Dawn Seekers, 155 for Sullen Hall, which is another $50 kit. And we'll go through all this in just a moment. Dreadmere is 180,000. Black Main Knolls. There's always Knolls in these Kickstarters. 210. Ant Infestation, which seems pretty neat. We'll take a look at that. 240, but we'll just keep going. Men at Arms. So this must be what they're close to. $5.60. So it looks like green is what's gotten, yellow is what's up next, and red is what's going to be right after that. So we're shooting for this nightmare, and then looks like there's a Briarwood. All right, so let's take a look at the core set. Bone 6 core set is the cornerstone of Kickstarter. It's an exceptional value. The number of miniatures inside the core set increases as time goes on. It gets bigger. We start out with 30 Bones miniatures right off the bat. Throw in an additional 16 Bone zombies. But as the Kickstarter grows, it'll grow. Usually, it ends up being close to 100 miniatures, or sometime last set there was actually a big dragon in it too, a pretty decent sized dragon. So let's take a look and see what's inside this core set. Take a drink here. So it looks like you got Dargoth here, Borin, which looks like a dwarf. This is, let's go back to Dragoth, and that looks like an undead guy on a throne. You got some, looks like female line, elf mage, dwarf cleric, halfling fighter, human rogue. These gnomes will be fun. Different gnomes: gnome captain, gnome sergeant, sentry 2. I like that they put in 2 different sentries, an illusionist. This bog shambler looks pretty fun. Kragmar pummeler. I don't know. Hard to tell from the picture exactly what that is. If it's a dwarf, I'm guessing. I don't know. And there's Terra. We all know a Terra. Rage Claw Warrior. Bloodstone Golem. That looks kind of fun. This looks like it's a Mircurix. Probably like a cat dragon combination. Probably pretty small. Looks like a dwarf warrior, Delrex, Roderick, and Glitter. This is a dragon rider. Maybe this is similar to the Legend of Human. They're ode to that. They do a lot of stuff that is really, 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 really close. And they'll name them something else, but they're all generic. They'll give them names. The Vanthus. Over here. This is a Diva. Domar. Jacob. It's kind of fun. And Misha. Wizardy guy. Vodalis. Then an Elven Cat. Arlen. And this is Anserandus Nightbloom, Wanderer, Ellie Quick Knight. That looks like a nice little rogue. Skeletal Houndmaster. That'll be fun. That'd be fun to have a couple of different ones of those. It'd be nice if there was an option, if there was like 2 or 3 of these hounds on there. Here's the bonus skeletons. That looks like fun. The bonus skeletons. Everyone loves zombies. Bonus zombies. On there. Hey, the big J Bowski superstar. How's it going? I don't know. Are you just listening, or are you able to watch this morning? So we got a town guard. They got a crossbow. By the way, of all of my favorite medieval weapons, I've always favored the crossbow. It's just nostalgia. When I played Legos, I always bought. They used to have weapons packs, and I would buy extra weapon packs just so I could have extra crossbows. It looks like they have a crossbow, swordsman, captain, and halberd. What's nice about a lot of this, like the 16 extra zombies that they have, you'll be able to buy, if you want, extra ones of these in the late Kickstarter when they start doing bonus stuff. When they start telling like piecemealing some of these things, you'll be able to purchase more of those. So if you need like 100 zombies for whatever reason, you'll be able to get that. Same with the town's guard. Even though you only really need one captain, but you can get some more of those figures. Dawn Seekers 1. Oh, so kind of neat. Amari, he looks kind of like an adventurer. Jada's definitely a warrior, and Vance must be like a rogue, maybe a half elven. It's a bow. There's Dreadmere. So Dreadmere is a place in Reaper's different worlds that they have. Iago, Kalich, Catalina, and Hugo's a puppy. He's a hound dog. Well, this is Dreadmere is the pirate area. So it looks like you got a female pirate, then you got like a female fighter. Iago's a male fighter. But probably more in the pirate style, but looks a little more beefy than that. Kalich, I don't know how you say her name. Kalich definitely is a pirate. Ant infestation. We got some different ants within there. People request different things and they listen. Then you got two different Sophies. You got Masquerade Sophie, which is like a vampire Sophie. And then you got Bourbon Street Sophie. Yeah. Reaper's been known with their Sophies to push the limits, if you will. Even go with non-clothed ones. You got 4 Mudmen. They look like Mudmen. Then Brinewind 1. So there must be Brinewind 2 coming up. And you got some definitely piratey people here. You got Vax, and you got Angelica, and Kaiser. And the Kaiser guy kind of is from Moby Dick. Kind of looks like, what's his name? Blanking this morning. Jay, help me out. I'm blanking. Captain, jeez. Well, Kaiser in here. He's got a big harpoon type deal. But Vax looks pretty cool, and Angelica looks pretty awesome for a female pirate. Got Toil and Trouble. Cacklebra. I'm reading some of these names for the first time. Shoe Brew. You got a Cauldron with some stuff coming out, and Ganglebrock. So, these are the different. They've given some of these Captain Ahab. Thank you, Jay. Could not think of that this morning. It was a little. You just get to going and should have probably looked through this a little bit more. But they go through some of the expansions on here. This is going to be added to the course of this is a Nightmare. Going to be added to the set when it reaches 580,000. Toil and Trouble is what they're coming up on. Let's see what else we got. So these are going to be the different expansion sets we're going to look at now. This is the Green Griffin expansion, part 1 of 5. All right, in part 1 of 5, they have a fireplace and 2 long tables, 4 benches, and some barrels. People are always asking for this kind of terrain. Then they have, looks like a barkeep in a dwarf type character who's missing an eye. Jalaric lead barrels. Then it looks like you have a someone singing Lirel Silverlocks, a bard. And that part 2. When they reached 270,000, they opened up part 2, which has 4 miniatures in it. So this expansion is $50. You have to buy You have to pay $50 on top of the core set, and it looks like We have 4 characters. There's Dariana. It's a ghost, and it's going to be translucent. Zydia, which is a dwarf waitress server. You have a festive patron and a drunk patron. I think that's what we had Wednesday nights when we were streaming. We had a festive streamer with me and a drunk streamer with Gregory, for those who watched. Then part 3 opened up with 540,000, and you got 8 chairs, 2 round tables. You got Violet, and then Sasha, looks like a kid who's a ghost and also translucent. Then they got another expansion, Shadows of Sullen Hall expansion. It's another $50 pledge on top of things. And part 1 opened up at 155,000, and we get a Forlorn Crypt. So we get a new crypt. Then we got some Grave Watch Warriors, and there's 7 warriors in different poses. I'm willing to bet that this little expansion, will be very popular. The crypt and the warriors, because the warriors look pretty cool. Because they're a little different than the skeletal warriors. They're still in armor, and they have different weapons. Part 2 opened at 410,000, and we have a couple of 4 bone piles. We have a necromancer and a well-sworn shrine. Part 3 is going to be coming. That is not opened up yet. Then they have another $50 expansion, Briarwood Vale expansion. And it looks like part 1 of that is not open yet. That opens at 610,000. And we got a red cap chopper, a red cap slasher, and red cap cutter. Huh. They look like little goblins. Or if they're not calling them goblins, we're calling them red caps. I don't know. Then it looks like we got some sylphs. Call them sylphs. Winter sylph, autumn slime. I don't know. Spring. It looks like they're doing the different seasons. Must be kind of like a like a spirit. And then let's see. I'm gonna move down to the options. 105,000. You can add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 paint pots for $18 to your collection. So this is a core color paint, and you get Twilight Blue, Palomino Gold, Stone Gray, Shield Brown, Age Pewter, Old Bronze, Spectral Glow, Goblin Skin, Succubus Kiss, Yellow Mold, Ghost Fire, which is a green, and a Gutter Grime. Considering that most of these pots go for well over $3, probably closer to $4 now. For 12 pots at $18, that's a good buy. Get like 3 of those just to have enough backup on some of those. $14 option. You can get the Black Mane Knolls in there. And it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different Knolls. Got a nice little story which we want to go over. Another option for $14, they have Men at Arms, and there's enough parts to build 6 different Men at Arms miniatures. So this would probably be something that comes on a sprue, and then you build them. That's kind of fun. A lot of stuff comes pre-built on there. This will be very popular too. The chibis are always popular. This is going to be officially licensed Pathfinder Chibi Heroes. So big eye, almost big eyes, small mouth, large heads, really tiny. The chibis are a very popular line for miniatures. Then they have all their stuff like that. Tell you about the pledge managers, learn about shipping, examples, refund policy. Refund policy. Huge fan lately of the hobby of miniatures, so I love it when they come on a sprue. I do love a lot of sprue building. I also like sometimes when the miniature is already put together and like in just in some cases, and it's just perfect the way it is. Oh, I can be like too cutesy. Well, that's their draw, Jay. Is the cutesiness of it. I enjoy that they put a refund policy, updated that. If it's within 14 days of closing of this Kickstarter, we will refund your entire pledge amount. After 14 days, but before the closing of this Kickstarter's Reaper Pledge Manager, we will refund your entire pledge minus the 10% Kickstarter and processing fees that they've paid. Once the pledge manager closes, refund requests are subject to review, and not all requests may be honored. You would maybe wouldn't be. I know you wouldn't be surprised, Jay, but others would probably be surprised at how many people just don't understand and they want a refund because it's taking too long or something like that. Their estimated deliveries are just that. The estimated delivery for this. So it is currently April of it's April 1st, 2022. The estimated delivery is 2 years. April of 2024, which is the longest that they've gone up. I can tell you why they're doing that. Because they did it 1 year out, and it ended up being like 18 months instead. So it took an extra 6 months to do. They did 18 months, and it just took longer. So 2 years, they're kind of hoping that it'll all work out. Plus, they will keep their pledge managers open for, I don't know how, I didn't see anywhere in there how long they keep their pledge managers open. I'm just trying to take a look and see. They say, but they'll keep it open for a couple months after this as they're setting everything up. And you'll be able to add on to your pledges. So if you don't have a lot of money now, you just do the $125 first set and then add stuff to it later. I'll probably go through and just throw a number out there. I'll probably put like $300 down onto it, with the expectation that at some point I will probably probably throw another $300 to $400. It depends on what's in there. I'll probably get 1 or 2 core sets. I'll definitely get that paint. I'll look at getting some of these things that I want multiples of. Like I want multiples of this Forward Crypt, which means I'm going to be getting multiples of this whole expansion set, of this Shadows of Sullen Hall. But out of the core set, I definitely want more of the Town's Guard. Probably the zombies will be a big thing for me so far. I like to get multiples of stuff like that Golem and the Bog Shambler. I'm trying to see if there's anything else in here that really strikes me right now. And that's most of that. Yeah. Maybe I'll pick up 2 expansions of Green Griffin expansion with the different multiple tables and things like that. I like filler. I like fillers on my tables sometimes. Stuff. But for a Kickstarter, this is actually a pretty good set on there. This is pretty exciting. And they'll have a story that goes through and have tales. I'm sorry if this is fast. No, but like this Toil and Trouble, they have a whole story that goes along with it. The Nightmare, they have a story. I've only been listening because I'm driving and cannot really watch. But is the entire set like absolutely everything? Are they all this cutesy chibi? Or no, most of the stuff, Jay, is normal stuff. They just throw in the chibis on there. A lot of the stuff is normal. Um, a lot of it is human stuff. I mean, the other cutesy stuff would be like the gnomes look kind of cute, but this if you want some cheap miniatures to paint, Jay, this is definitely something that you're gonna want to back. You're definitely gonna want to back a lot of this. You get all kinds of miniatures. You get extra miniatures for even to teach Thaddeus how to paint. That's because that's what I use. I use the Reaper miniatures for the kids for painting, whether it's a small one or even a big one. Relatively inexpensive compared to other companies' miniatures, which is one of the reasons why I have so many miniatures. Because as the kids get older, I think we'll be doing a lot more painting. But let's go. I want to go and just show, which doesn't help Jay, show you if I can find. Let's go to the previous Bones 5 and compare what they had campaign. So they ended with in the last campaign, which was Escape from Pete's Dungeon. They got 3.3 million, 18 and a half thousand backers. Um, that's the pledge manager that happened afterwards, but you can see that they had all these different waves, and they had waves for different places and things like that. They caused them nothing but headaches. But some of the miniatures they had, which is really cool, their core set, which was $120, but they don't have names on them. They had a dragon. They have this like huge zombie giant. They have this deer. They have a Krampus in there. They had all of these different gnolls, I guess they were. Uh, these different little like different elves with bows and some dread wolves. These are all extras. Then they had kid heroes, some scarecrows. The scarecrows are pretty cool looking. They had cat folk in medieval armor and stuff. Now again, this is the previous one, so just for those who are going to watch the video later, I apologize, G, that you can't see this. They had golems. Just going over what you can pretty much expect. Uh, they always improve upon these. This Halloween one is pretty cool. They had some Wraith Dread Knights. So a gem dragon, three-headed troll, and then they added to the core set rewards, Wraith King, um, Sophie's Lucky Dice, Goblins, an Overgourd, which is basically like a beholder, but it's a gourd. Looks like a pumpkin with more pumpkin heads. And Dragon Lion. You can add those. These are core set extras that you could break down. This is what they'll do at the end once this is all done. Expansion on there. But then these are Bones 5 options. So these are individual options. Got a bunch of dragons. I got a bunch of these catapults. They had dragon folk. And just town folk. If you want fillers, some busts, a couple different dragons. And the 12 colors that kind of go in the sets. The Troll's Toll, which is the bridge. This War Mammoth, I got one of those. They did a second after Reaper thing. So there's another whole thing of Reaper that I have coming down, and I picked up some more of these war mammoths just because I wanted more than one. Once I saw how big they were, that was a $14 option. I think they'll probably sell for $25 individually once they have them on the market. Give me a second. I gotta blow my nose. I don't want to do that with while we're live. Hold on one second. Ah, that's better. Allergies are weather changes. It doesn't matter the time of the year. Weather changes. My allergies, my sinuses play hell on me. Fantasy dinos. So let's say this Kickstarter was your absolute favorite paint to use on miniatures. um, I do like the Reaper stuff. The model color is really good. The apple barrel stuff from Walmart in a lot of cases too. It's just cheap, but the model color, which is a Vallejo, one is really solid. Army Painter's really good. I do like Citadel. I haven't really come across the bad paint line. It's just a matter of the colors that I'm using. I picked up. I'm going to go to a camera. And I know you can't see this, Jane, but for anyone who does watch this, watch it later. I picked up these Colors of War for doing World War II stuff. They have different colors that are done in colors from World War II for bolt action. And it was a Flames of War paint line. Um, done, it was bottled for Battlefront. And these are excellent paints in general for World War II. And I really like those too. YouTube. So I don't really stick with one line. I kind of buy whatever color I like, and then I just end up buying more. I'm gonna have a rack. I'm actually setting up shelving that's gonna go behind me when the camera's facing that way. It's gonna have all of my paints on it at some point. So, anyways, back to the old Kickstarter. They had these ballistas and trebuchets, lots of dragons. Dragons are very popular on there. These were all extras. I don't think we got this encounter at Gallowguard, and now I'm kind of dreading it. I wish it would have, because I could probably use just the terrain. Encounter the Dwarf King's Crypt, which looks pretty cool. I didn't get this encounter at Mandor Pass. Kind of regretting that now. I got the pirate ship. It was $100 option for a pirate ship. It is huge. I'll have to bring that out one day because I'm gonna be painting that. There's another dragon, Song of Sirens, another paint option. This is a good time to get some extra paint. Just you gotta wait for it. These were good little things. Shadows of Ravenholm. A Yogg Sothoth. They had that in there too. And then they had a Bones Learn to Paint thing, which was actually a $40 option. But you got 12 Bones 5 miniatures, so you get exclusive miniatures. You got 2 Master Series brushes, 12 paints, detailed set of instructions. That's a good deal for that. It's a good learn to paint, especially with 12 miniatures. That would be a good thing to pick up sometime, Jay, if you want some help on stuff. Because I read through all the like manuals and things like that just on how to do stuff. Not that I follow all of them, because I kind of do what I want. They had the Dungeon Dwellers expansion, which had like Owlbear, Just a bunch of different stuff. Another thing, the Diable expansion, which actually had like dinosaurs as samurai, which looked pretty cool. Did not get that set either. One of those didn't have the money at the time, so I just did it. Same with the Greek expansion. Now I kind of wish I did just for that Cyclops. Not get the Greek Odyssey. It really, some of the stuff doesn't really intrigue me that much. I wouldn't mind painting it, but I don't have a usage for it. I could have used the Cyclops though. If it ever comes out as an individual miniature, I'll probably pick up a couple of those. Pegasus, a Hippogriff, Minotaur, Dark Depths expansion, which is a water-based expansion. Hammerhead Shark, Brachiosaurus, Samiro, which is just some water, like water ogres, White Shark, Hippocampus, uh, Fathom Tyrant, which is kind of like like a beholder but with claws. It's an interesting creature. Sea Giant would have been cool. Again, I didn't get this expansion. The Brinewood expansion I got, which has just a bunch of pirates, but like undead pirate stuff. And some regular stuff, and they had the cute otter folk, which is really cute. Chronoscope expansion, which is kind of your steampunk expansion. You had some of that stuff. And you had the modern horror aspect of it too. With people, it looks like they kind of did a little bit of a play on The Walking Dead with some of the guys, but is already dead. They're dead already. Post-apocalypse type guys. Oh, they had their Terminator. See, I didn't even get into this. I going through a divorce and had all that divorce debt and just didn't have money for some of this stuff. And now I'm going, get it later. I did get the fan favorites expansion, which is basically stuff that the people have asked for on there. Like a Mamlord, which is a mammoth human on there. Gator men. So like crocodiles are alligators, but they're look humanoid instead. A demonic whiplasher. That is from Stranger Things. That's their version of that. And then they had a story, a comic book. But anyways, that was the previous campaign. Again, now they're in Bones 6. They got 4,477 backers currently. We have 561, almost 62,000 in pledges. And I will probably get most of this, and then when you're able to pick out certain things, I'll probably get 3-4 extras. I'm definitely getting this extra set of bone zombies though, and probably Town Guard. I like stuff like that. Personally, the paints. When I get some dragons, I'll probably get some extra dragons. I'll probably get this Green Griffin. I'll probably get at least 2 of those. And probably Shadows of Sullen Hall. I'll probably get a couple of those because of the Forlorn Crypt, unless they separate some of the stuff out. But they also started putting some of these not only into these expansions to boost the pledge and the reward stuff, but it also makes it easier to put when they're picking everything for shipping. It's a huge process when they're picking this stuff, and they try to get as much out in a day as they can. And at their peak, they'll do over like 1,400 orders in a day. but they'll try to do all these expansions like that. That's the only way you can get it. So it's like 2 of this. First, the first Kickstarter when they did it, they piecemealed everything, and it just came all in just plastic little baggies, and it was pretty awesome to just basically get a big box that's just full of stuff. But it had to be a pain in the butt for them. They must have got smarter about stuff. Plus it's a marketing thing to have these expansions. Yeah. All right. Anyways, I'm not going to paint any miniatures today. I was just going to go over the Bones 6 Tales from the Green Griffin, and I hope you enjoyed that. Upload this to my YouTube so we can watch it again later. Jay, you'll be able to watch it on YouTube. I'll probably upload it today yet. You want to watch that later. Otherwise, head over to Kickstarter and just search for Bone 6, and you can become a backer of it, which I highly recommend. And with that, I think we're going to end the show. I have to take Cooper to my oldest to school, and he's going to be here at any moment. So we will go. One thing I've done. Oh, I want to mention this. So there's a couple neat little things that happened since the previous stream of Wednesday. One, I upgraded my lighting above me from a 100-watt bulb to a 300-watt LED on there, so my downward lighting will be better for being able to see stuff. And I got a second ring light, which will be good on there for getting different angles when we're playing stuff, so there's enough light on items. Always looking to make the room a little bit better, make the stream a little bit better. And then right behind me, where that shelf is, I'm going to be putting up modular shelving on the wall, and that's where all their paint is going to go. And probably some other storage stuff. I got some wall flat stuff that will make the shelves modular. Anyways, I want to thank everyone for being here. Jay, you are awesome. Thank you for listening in. Thank you, Joshua Turbo, for recommending me getting up on a Friday morning and doing miniatures and talking miniatures or doing miniature painting. For episode 2, this is I am a lot more awake. I just have some allergy stuff going. I want to thank everyone for joining me, and we will see you on the other side. And as always, remember, game on.